everyone, welcome to our video. It's Warren and Colleen from NQ Explorers. We're spending the next 4 days in this old ghost town that dates from 1864. Now, we did do a series of videos on this previously, and we're going to spend a few days here again, metal detecting, might do a bit of fishing in the billabong, exploring the area, exploring out beyond where the old coach change was, and see if we can find other little settlements and any relics and treasures we might be able to dig up. Thanks for joining us. We'll do it as a 4-part video. Hopefully we'll have enough content for every day, and then I'll roll it all together into a movie length adventure. That's the plan anyway. Let's hope we find enough to fill that hour or so. But anyway, it's just a great place to be. This town wasn't here very long, 10 years, roughly 10 years before it was moved. So the length of habitation wasn't great. This was the main coach road west. There was a change station and a hotel and accommodation for passengers here, and there were some various residences from the people that lived in the town, obviously to support the hotel, and there was a blacksmith. Beyond that, there's very little information, but there's some exciting stories surrounding this town that I'll fill you in on later. Some of the historic things that happened here that were quite amusing and some were quite dramatic. But anyway, we'll get into it and see if we can find a few relics. Thanks for watching. Okay, solar set up. We've got a nice charge going into the battery. It's a 150 amp hour battery in the van there. So that's all good to go. Gonna have a nice bit of sun today. It's going to be 32 or something, but there's a lovely breeze and northwesterly, warm northwesterly, but that's fine. We've got a variety of metal detectors with us today. We've got 2 Maxes, an Apex and my old faithful Pro. I'm going to bust it out later. Colleen's on the Max over there with a NEL sharpshooter. Here's my Max here. It's got the Garrett 5x8. What I'm going to do is swap it out for this big NEL Thunder and head out and cover a bit of territory on the edges of town into areas where we haven't been, and see if we can find any concentrations of targets. I'll leave my iron on so that I want to hear the iron and know where the basically the extent of the artifact scatter, if you like, want to call it that. So beautiful day out here this morning, day 1. Billabong's a lot cleaner than when we were here last time, because there'd been a lot of rain. The sediment's dropped and it's just a beautiful little spot down there by the water. Just want to show you this, where I've got my accessory coils set up. They've all got a lower stem attached with the coil bolt, so all I have to do is undo the cable out of the housing and remove the lower stem and swap it to the new stem. That way you're not fiddling with coil bolts and washers and things in the field. All our accessory coils we've got set up like that, with our extra stem attached permanently. Okay, while I was going through that jibber jabber about coils and stems, Colleen's picked up a musket ball, have you?
It's not round. It's sort of a bit...
I know, that's a fired musket ball for sure.
Yeah. Gee, it's big, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's the first target of the trip. Nice work.
Yeah, lovely.
Something got shot right here. Actually, this is not far from where you got your fourpence.
Yeah, not too far, yeah.
Okay, nice work. Okay, there's the Thunder all attached to the Max. Just one thing I'll point out here is what I call cable discipline. First wind of the cable always over the stem for these externally cabled machines like this, and nice and tight. If you get the cable flopping around, you will get falsing in a lot of situations, especially if you're in scrub and you're bumping into sticks and brush. But yeah, cable discipline, very important. First wine's got to go over the cable, over the stem rather, and then keep it nice and tight right up to the top. And these NEL coils have really long cables on them actually, so you can extend this out a long way. I guess that's what that's for. But make sure you've got plenty of tension on your cable. Not so much that it's going to break it, but it's because your coil has to flex on the end. But yeah, very important to make sure that this is reasonably tight.
Just found this. I think it's just an iron bridle ring or something, you know, for the horses.
Yep.
Oh,
Get me horse related.
Yeah, yeah.
These white ant mounds are interesting. Not terribly large in this part of the outback as you like, but this one has got some new development going on, as you can see. They've gone real hard expanding to the north. Wonder how many individuals live in that, probably hundreds of thousands. Okay, if you've seen our previous videos from this spot, a previous series of videos, we did I think it was 5 videos here in a series in the old ghost town. You might be familiar with this spot. That's a modern station track. That's the billabong there that we're camped on. That's us over there. And in this area here, I believe were several dwellings, because there's a couple of little shallow rubbish pits, which are the old long drops probably, or privies. Change station and pub, or the change station / hotel down there near the palms. And in this area here we've found coins in the past, more modern 1920s coins, which is a bit unusual. Perhaps people were fishing here then, I'm not sure, but there's no one living here at that stage. Anyway, so that's the area I'm in. I'm on the fringes of the town. The old coach road ran east to west through that crossing and further west that way. So we're about 200 metres north of the old coach road, so people wouldn't have been living right on top of the hotel. They needed a bit of room for domestic animals and things, for food. Anyway, that's where I am. The big NEL Thunder coil is obviously making a difference here, because this is quite a deep dig, and I haven't dug a real lot of deep targets here. May have missed this with a smaller coil. I don't even know what it is. This is it. It's a brass disc with a little loop tied on top. I've got no idea what that, and there's 2 iron parts, and let's clean it up and see if we can see what it is. I don't think it's going to be electrical. They didn't have electricity out here. Maybe been hung around someone's neck, but I don't know what that would be, unless it's off a bit of coaching gear or something. Anyway, let's clean it up and see what we got. So that was quite a deep target. It's about 9 inches down in this hard packed clay up on the creek bank. But anyway, we'll investigate this find further. Okay, I think it's a keyhole and a scutcheon. I don't know what the bit of wire's purpose. There looks to be a swivelling escutcheon over a hole there, which where maybe a small key went through, and this is where it was riveted to a trunk or a saddlebag or something. I've got no idea. I can't clean it, the hot clays. I'll have to take it back over to the ute and soak it in a gold pan and a bit of water and take some still pics, see if we can identify that. Looks like it's been repurposed or something. I've got no idea. But that looks like it's a swivelling cover. We've got 2 steel pins. I don't know if there's any writing on there. You might be able to make some out. Okay. Oh well, it's quite a deep target, as I just said, so I'll keep swinging this Thunder to cover more ground and get a bit of depth. Okay, so where I just got this disc object just here, in front of me is a pit. Wasn't visible to me until I walked up to it. It's a small pit there, shallow pit, probably about 2 feet deep, heavily overgrown, so I assume this is the privy pit or the long drop of an old house. And over here, where I've got the detector sat down, it's got a modern bullet, small caliber rifle round. So obviously shooting's gone on since the town was abandoned. A bit of old glass there too, and this beautiful, interesting looking rock, and a modern bullet. Okay. This one's just a jumpy 60 signal, probably worth having a look at though, live, or semi-live. I've already started the hole, as you can see. That should have disturbed it. We've got 40 km/h winds out at the moment, so I hope the audio's okay. Oh, got a Kinder Surprise going on. Oh, what have we got here? Large rifle round, 303. Well, this is the area where we found the 1920s coins last time we were out here, so quite possibly this dates from some 1920s shooting. It'll have a date stamp on it. That'll be interesting to find out. Well, the spot I'm in now, near the stump, I would say was a residence or a hut of some description. There's a lot of ceramic on the ground and bits of the old mid 19th century beer bottles. See, they've got this glass and ceramic, and as soon as you put the pick in the ground, there's old bits of broken bottle and stuff. I haven't found a complete bottle, but anyway, how about this for an awesome find? Kind of fits with the spot I'm in. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Look at this. Looks like it's an old hand-forged hammer. That has done some work, and see the claws on the back. Well, that's not factory made, as you can see. And they've had a wedge of iron jammed down, obviously to hold the wooden handle in place, which is long gone. That was way down deep, which the Thunder obviously identified as iron, but it was a solid target. And I thought, oh, I'll dig some big iron. You never know, it could be a brown bass musket. Not a brown bass musket, but look at that. Beautiful old 1900s hand-forged hammer. What an awesome old find. Look at that thing. That's a real bit of history there, a real bit of pioneer history. And it's done some work. Probably built the house that it was dropped in. Now the reason that's probably here, it could have been forged here on the spot, because over there to the rear of my rear there was where the Cobb & Co change station and hotel was. And the yards to accommodate the horses and stables, of course. But across the road, across the coach road from the hotel, was a blacksmith. That probably explains there's a couple of rock mounds over there that may have something to do with the old smithy. Possibly that was made here in town by the blacksmith over there near the pub. The blacksmith was there for the life of the town until it moved, and there was actually an application for a second hotelier's license here, but it was rejected by the government because they said one public house was enough in a town of this size. But anyway, so you had the hotel, the blacksmiths, and a few residences around, horse stables, and of course the accommodation in the hotel was for the Cobb & Co coaches as they came in. Variously, that story went from one coach a week each way, east and west, to 3 coaches a day, so it probably varied as the seasons changed, and the road was actually passable, because in the wet season it isn't. So there would have been several months where there were no coaches, I would imagine, or they would have had difficulty getting through. Anyway, awesome old find. I'll go and have some morning tea. One of the things I love about this site is that this scene you can see behind me is completely unchanged since the 1860s, when the pioneers were out here and these coaches were coming through. That's exactly the site that the early settlers going west and the travellers that came through this town would have seen from the windows of that coach. That's if the coach had windows, of course. Probably didn't, fairly dusty. Coach change station was just here, so it's where they're congregating at night. Hot meal, maybe a hot bath if they were lucky. There was a cook on hand and a couple of servants, so they were made pretty comfortable for what is a very remote spot now. Very, very remote in the 1860s. Of course, this was New South Wales until 1859, and then it was Queensland when the town was founded in 1862-63. So unchanged scene from the mid-19th century. Okay, I'll just take you for a little walk over here. I've started a dig, I've just scratched the ground. It's the best signal I've had all morning actually. It's a 75-76, quite shallow. We'll do a live dig. Let's get into it. Just over here somewhere. I just got to find my detector again. Just do a double D wiggle. Yeah, it's in that scrape. Not very deep. Okay. Actually, this spot here, it's not very far from where I found that Bullocky's Teamster's bell in part. So it could be another part of that bell actually. There's a very high quality brass, solid. So we'll do a live dig and we'll see what comes out of this. stirred the ants up, that's for sure. It's in this lump of clay here. That should got him. Well, it's a bit of melted lead. No banana. But that's not too bad actually, it just shows you that there was activity right here. You can see how it was a really high tone, compact target ID, as you'd expect on a piece of lead like that. Never mind. I'll just show you something of interest here while we're in this area. I believe this to be the old road. To the right is the coach change station, and to the left that was probably the blacksmith. The road went through here and up over that rise, and that's looking east. But over here there's two interesting rock mounds. I don't know if they're chimney bases or what they are, but they've obviously been constructed. And actually about a half an hour ago I found a third one over in that green thicket over there. So there's no bricks in this town. I guess they're all moved, because a lot of the houses were actually put on bullock dray and taken away. They're all timber obviously, but brick chimneys, I've seen no evidence of any bricks. Just this local river rock. Okay, I'm at the back of the change station here. There's a bit of a glass broken bottle scatter. These typical little 1860s. Pity that's not complete. But over here, as you can see, I just had a bit of a scratch there. Had a bit of a signal, but it was iron. We've got glass, the old beer bottle bases. They're kind of ceremony buried, but it's not a bottle pit as such. Yeah, there's glass and ceramic all through this area here. My coil's too big for this, but I've got a few days. I can come back with a smaller coil. I've got plenty of coils in the car.
Just picked up a buckle. I think it's just like a saddle buckle or something. An old iron.
Nice.
Pretty rusty.
Doing better than I am. I haven't done anything since morning tea.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
No. Okay, I'm 10 inches into the subsoil here. I've busted through into the moisture layer. I'm probably about 20 metres from what I think is the town dump. There's quite a big excavation with a bit of rubbish in it. And this is where this NEL Thunder coil's paid off. I've got a really deep target here. Like you can see there, I've exposed some sort of brassy, coppery, very solid item. I don't know what that's going to be, and it's going to take a long time to excavate it. So I know, looks like it's kind of a, I can't loosen it. Gotta be so careful. Wonder what that's going to be. Looks like it's got a design on it, doesn't it? Anyway, look, I'll be back shortly when I've got this out of the ground, or close to having it out of the ground anyway. Right, we're just heading back to the van for an ice cold drink and some lunch. It's cooking out here at the moment. The breeze has dropped off a bit. It's probably about 33, 34, but pretty warm in the sun. I'm going to have to open this hole right out because there's a solid brassy looking thing in there, but I've got no idea what it is. I can't risk damaging it with the pick, so I have to go dig a great big hole because I can't loosen it up. So I'll be back shortly when it's coming out of the ground. Okay, we interrupt that dig to bring you another dig. Colleen's just got a reportable find. Let's go and have a look. Must be pretty good, she's still cleaning it. Oh, looks interesting.
I don't know what I think it's brass. I don't know what it is. I thought it might have been a fob watch thing, but
Okay. Oh,
I'm not sure what it is. It's
here's Colleen's find.
it
is actually a,
what is it?
that is a, I would say that's a lady's pocket watch or something, isn't it?
I don't know, that's in brass, but what
It's brass. Isn't there a winder on top?
it looks like a winder, but I'm not sure whether that's do you think it
Let's see a pretty face.
do you think see that
That's dirt, isn't it? Or is that rusty mechanism? Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's going to have to go
Okay.
back into the gold pan back at the car and soak. That's a great little find.
Yeah, it was a nice signal.
It might have some writing on it. That's definitely got a
It's got something
it's
on
got
it, but
a hole in the back that you didn't do. It looks like it's been
No.
shot.
well,
I think it's a pocket watch.
Yeah.
It might be like a ladies or a nurses where they used to wear them on their apron, on their straps, on their breast strap. Righto. Let's go back to the big hole we're digging. Okay, I've loosened it. What is this mystery item? Oh, it's a Teamster's bell.
A what? Oh,
it's a bullocky bell. Look at that.
Gee.
Geez, look how deep that was. That Thunder coil got that, what, that's nearly a foot down.
Oh, it's further than a foot.
This will have writing on it, and that's in, well, I'm not going to say it's in good condition. That's a bullocky or a coaching team Teamster's bell, so that'll have writing on it, and we'll be able to brand it.
You might get a little bit more of it in there.
Yeah, well, I'll check the hole and see if there's anything in it. Colleen told me to keep going. There's probably another one in the hole. Interesting that the Teamster's bell, obviously we're out in the area here in the early 1860s before they invented barbed wire. So there was no fences. And anyway, it was sort of trackless country anyway. There was a selection out here, but wasn't fenced. So at night, obviously the bullockies and the cattlemen and the horse teams pulling either loaded drays or the stagecoach with people, passengers, and the mail, of course. Well, they put a bell on the horse or on the main part of the team, and so they could find them in the morning, because without the barbed wire, well, they could disappear anywhere. Obviously, they're going to tether them up, but mainly bullocks, they're going to have bells on them, so they can be located. And in the night, if there's a bit of a kerfuffle going on, well, they'd be all breaking out their sniders to see what they had to shoot that was hassling the cattle. But anyway, I'm really happy with it. That's a beautiful find. Probably wouldn't have got to that with a smaller coil. Very satisfying. It's fun to dig things like that, a mystery item. I thought it was like a little box or a handle, but yeah, it's a Teamster's bell. What a ripper. Let's get a name off it. That thing hasn't rung for over 150 years. The clapper's gone. That's the dinger that goes in the middle of it. I haven't checked the hole yet, but a lot of these were cast in the UK, and they came without the steel hangers. I think they were fitted here in Australia, and of course a lot were made in Australia too. I think there's writing on the top, but I'll magnify it and I'll get a still photo. But what a great find. Lovely bit of history directly from the 1860s.